Welcome to Heroes of Improv. I am Kyra Thaysen, an improviser, a teacher, and an associate producer of DULUTH, the improvised soap opera, which is in full production at the moment, and we will be airing very soon. It's coming up in mid-May. And with me today, the true hero of improv, I have Keith Williams. Welcome, Keith. Thank you so much.
Hi, Kyra. Thank you for having me. So excited to be here. How are you?
Thank you. I am doing very well. I am overworked, but I'm loving my work.
Oh, I get it. I get it. It seems as though we're all moving at 100 miles or kilometers per hour, depending on where you are.
It is true. I can sign that right off right now. I feel like I'm in space. Keith, you're not just a wonderful hero to me as well personally. That's why I reached out to you. What I love about you is that you have really, especially in the last years, pushed the awareness for improvisation around the globe. Not just as a consultant, but actually also as an improviser, believing deeply that life is better with improv, which is sort of your slogan, and it's the name of your company and all of your social media. I want you to tell me something, Keith. I want you to tell me not how, but why you believe that life is better with improv.
Wow. Okay. So yeah. So the phrase "everything is better with improv" came out of a few things. But the question is why? I believe that everything is better with improv because you can use these skills to apply it to almost everything you do. And it really breaks down into fundamentals. Of course, yes-anding, better listening skills, presentation skills, being present, listening to your partner, responding to the last thing they said. Those are techniques that you can apply to your life. And when you're having turbulent times, when you're on the job and you're having a tough project, when your family is going through stuff, the escapism of improv also is helpful. But really, if you have these techniques, I would advise that you use it. The only thing I would say is that be careful with your romantic relationships and trying to use techniques in there. It can get kind of like tricky because you really need to just be authentic in those moments. But and that doesn't mean laugh at everything that happens, of course not, but it really means engage yourself in a way like if you were on stage and you were performing and whoever you're talking to is telling you something important, you need to hear it versus thinking about the next thing you're going to say or drifting off about what's next at work. I think that'll help you with life. I mean, I can give you 100 examples.
Which a lot of them are, by the way, all these the listening, but it's really about why, because I think this is what you're a master of, because you don't just bring it to improvisers, you bring it also through your consultations and everything to the outside world, to non-improvisers, which is something beautiful. I mean, right. I do it as well with my therapy because I'm a therapist. But what I like is that explaining to people that with improv, I always find it's not about the tools that they're learning, it's about the awareness about dissociation, association, about being able to be in control of the moment, to become more relaxed, to get into that sort of second circle we very often talk about in improv, right? Instead of being in first or in third, not panicking, not regretting so much afterwards. Oh, why did I react like that? Why did I?
Yes.
All of this is for me, I think the beauty of people that are improvisers or practice it, this is what they're winning from it, right? They're winning so much greatness. Why wouldn't you want it in your life?
Yeah. That's amazing, all the things you said, because I can talk about all those. One of the first thing I think of is I went through a training on the pitching your business, right? The elevator pitch is where you have 1 minute in an elevator and you want to tell your whole thing. Okay, you want to kind of get it into a thing. Elevator pitch has been sort of outdated, and now it's more of the perfect intro. Now, here's the thing. I've heard that improv is intimidating. Hey, I teach improv. Oh, no, thank you. I don't want to get on stage. I don't want to be embarrassed. You can't teach. That's not for me. And you really, when you want to get into applying it to presentation skills, interview skills, your job, we've already lost them because they go, oh, I don't want to be in front of people. So one of the things we have to drill down is how do we eliminate it? And what is the special nature of improv? Is that it's unscripted. So our perfect intro is people say, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm Keith with Better with Improv. And they say, what is that? I will answer is that at Better with Improv, we help you discover what's next. Stop right there. Now, if they go, oh, that's great. Excuse me, nice to meet you. Then they're not interested, and you don't have to go further. But if they go, I'll help you discover what's next. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Tell me more. Then you can start talking about, helping them solve whatever their issue is. Then you say, we use the techniques, tools of improv, and then now we are using it to help them solve something. So
I think that's an interesting, I could talk to you forever about this, but even just taking what you said, classically, we often hear that people say, if you notice others aren't listening, and you haven't, or even that sentence hasn't caught their interest because they don't know or because it doesn't touch them, then leave it. You're wasting your energy, right? That's pretty much what you're saying. Like, just leave it. But don't you think it's even better if it does touch them? If they haven't listened, to show them within a few seconds how enthusiastic you are, because I think enthusiasm, passion,
yes,
what people all over the world are attracted to. When they see that moment, that spark in our eyes, that's when they listen naturally, because they're like, what? What? I don't understand what she's saying, but this looks great. I want it, right? Give me those drugs. So you've got that approach too.
Yeah, you're selling it is the big part of it, and selling it on stage or selling it is not a sales technique. It's really about exuding your confidence, whatever you're coming up with on the spot. You say it with confidence. People are going to root for you. They believe in you, and if they see you having fun, they wait. I want some of that. Wait, what's going on there? He's having a good time. He's really into it. He's been talking about this for some time now. It takes 21 touches to really get someone's attention, so they have to see you a bunch of times before they go, okay, he's not fly by night. This is not a come and go. He's actually doing this. And then you have classes and results. I'm teaching a class on fear this tomorrow on Sunday. Well, by the time this comes out, but it'll be tomorrow. And we're going to talk about, stage fright and fears and breaking through and selling it. And that who is your audience? What do they want? And improv audiences root for you. They're there for
improviser, not as an improviser.
Yeah. So even in other areas, we can use these techniques, these improv techniques to kind of break through fear and sell it and be convincing and have fun. People are attracted to the fact that you're having more fun than them.
Tell me, Keith, yes, no answer. Are you a better person with improv?
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Has it changed your daily life since you started?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, it has. Wow. Okay. Positive.
All right. So first of all, improv for me is therapeutic, and it's not a formal therapy, and I don't want any therapists like yourself who are licensed clinical therapists to tell me, hey, don't be careful. I'm saying for me, it purges. If I have a scheduled rehearsal on Sunday and we just go and play, I'm good for Monday. I feel whatever it is. When I have a hard day at work and we have a show tonight, we have a practice tonight, we have it, I'm like, let's do it. And we just escape for a moment. We have fun with it. We come back, and I think we bring that energy home with us. and we bring it right back to our day-to-day stuff. So it's helped me in that way. I've met an incredible amount of people and friends who are aligned. There's nothing better than being with your kind and being with your people and having fun when acting. So I've run into people that like, I've had people in my class just like first couple of classes, they're like, I'm home. Like, I'm like, welcome, 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 welcome. That's, you know, come on in, and we have a great time with it. So
yeah.
I could go on, but there are a lot of things in my life, even, you know, friendships, relationships, my approach being a dad, my approach to work, my approach to building a business, my patience with it. I
The
mean,
failure, the rises,
oh,
the falls, the being in the
what
moment,
works?
being present.
That's right. Being present, being in the moment, you know, what my skill sets are, what I want to stretch on. Um, you know, I did some improv on TikTok, and I did some improvised rap battles, and it got 650,000 views. I was like, wait, what? What just happened here? You know what I mean? So it would, I think there is a, like you said, a small percentage of small slice of the population that even knows what this is, what it means. It's not just a subset of acting, it's really an art form. And when it gets to the masses, right? Some people are gonna think, anybody can do that. And other people are gonna be like, whoa, I didn't realize that I had to train and get and develop some muscle that I didn't have before.
Yes. Yeah. But I think it's also beautiful for people to appreciate it and to understand that aren't improvisers, to perhaps watch it or go to shows and to say, wow, this is amazing. It's almost like I thought it was scripted, right? That's the most beautiful thing to hear. It's almost the biggest
Yes.
compliment. You don't
Yes.
have to justify it. You'd be like, that's the beauty of it. And actually, I believe a lot there's certain types of improv where people love to see the mistakes. Take short form. They're all about the mistakes because it's the human, they love challenges and they like to see other people, it sounds horrible, they like to see other people fail because
Yeah.
then they feel better. So if you tell them just the name of the game and what's happening, they're not that interested. They're just going to watch. But if you're including them, telling them what's difficult about this and let's watch them do this, they're on their chairs differently. They're sitting up front, and when there is a failure, they're like, yes, yes, this is, and they laugh so much more.
Yeah. We have a game called ABC Die. And so it's ABC, the normal game of ABC, two players, and you start a sentence with A, then the next person starts their sentence with B, and then go back to C. If you go all the way through the alphabet without a mistake, I mean, that's cool, great job. But they want to say you die, and the dying part is the most creative. You have to come up with a creative way to kill yourself, because, and then that's where the fun is. So sometimes improvisers, you know, they pay less attention so that they get a chance to die. You know, they might row a boat out in the middle of the ocean, take a gun out, load it up, and you think they're going to kill themselves. What they do is they shoot a hole in the boat, and then figure out how, you know, they die slowly, like, you
I
know.
love that.
Okay.
That is creative. So everybody's at the end just waiting for them. They're like, okay, this is going to take hours.
Right. And so, yeah, people are finding creative ways, and that's the fun of the show, the game.
Yeah, and being supportive of that. It's fun. I mean, that's the beauty of it. I think learning how to fail in a nice way, but not just for the improvisers, it's most important, but of course for the audience as well, to realize how much fun is included, right? To
Yeah.
take things lightheartedly, and put a bit of freshness to it, a fresh spin to it.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
that's what everybody needs. It doesn't matter where they're from, what races, what cultures, to stop being so involved just in our own little universe and not to see anything that we don't, what's out of our norm. And to, you know, when we start taking ourselves too seriously and our lives too seriously, that's when I always say things start going wrong. That's that's what I think.
Yeah, your stress levels stay high, and when that happens, your physiological reactions to that, your interactions with people are abrasive and curt, and you want, you know, even in the midst of stuff, you want everyone to be cool. Just okay, let's take this, let's take a step back, let's walk through this, let's understand, we'll create a plan, we'll execute on that plan, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Why? Because I believe in you. I know you can do it. So I know it's tough, but I baked a cake for you. Here you go.
Yeah, yeah. Give me
It's
that
not
cake.
a real cake, but let's have some cake. Let's have a moment.
But I think, improv, that just reminds me, it's exactly the same. I think why it does make us better improvisers generally, better people. Doing improv makes us better people because it makes our life more enjoyable in the sense that when we're in a relationship, we've just had a bad argument with our partner, for example. We're in the moment, we're trying to listen, we're trying to be in the here and now. We're not trying to, take it somewhere else. But we're just able to be more like, okay, that was yesterday and today's a new day. It's like a scene. That dissociation goes on very often. When I talk to improvisers, they're like, oh yeah, we had an argument yesterday, but today's everything's great. They're able to just not, they cut it and they restart and they try and see the other perspectives. And I think that's beautiful to hear that very
Yeah,
often. That's just one example.
it
Um,
is. And I like a little sense of humor in that, like, yeah, if you can say something with some fun, like in a light way, it's sort of like there's always some truth in every joke, but um, you know, sometimes I've had some friends and they've been in relationships and something will happen. They'll do something that their partner don't like. And but then they will pretend to continue to do it, knowing that they've had a big thing about it. You know, like, hey, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to mention where I'm going. So I won't tell you when I'll be back, and hopefully maybe I'll see you. And then they leave, knowing that they just had a big argument about that. It was pretty funny. So
yeah, how the outside world react to that. But I think that's the beauty of it. Okay, Keith, we've got to start talking about something important because I want to talk to you about your own personal view on dramatic improv, on your experience of dramatic improv.
yeah,
Although I know that you got introduced roughly to improv through comedy improv more, that's how you sort of got introduced to it.
yeah.
Would you say that you practice dramatic improv
Yes,
even sort of
yes.
now? And when did you first start out to practice more the dramatic? When did it interest you?
Oh, I did get introduced to first short form and then into some long form. But the thing that caught my attention was a group out of New York called Nobody's Token, and they came to my state, North Carolina, for a festival, and they did sort of they did this sitcom style. So it was still more in the Cosby Show style, which is still comedy, but it was more storytelling. But they took one word and then they cut to, and people were in jail, and I was like, has to be scripted. Like, I didn't know. I was like, what am I watching? This is unbelievable, right? What am I watching? And so that's where I got the bug. And then from there, I started participating in we did some storytelling, longer form, drama based, serious improv where we wanted to slow burn. And then we could really go emotional. We could cry. We could do these things. And we had, sometimes we would play a scene where we would do a serious scene, and this would be really serious about, I don't know, mom died, and you're talking to your sibling, and it's emotional. And then you have to replace it with, it's like your goldfish died, right? But you have to give that same drama, that same emotional connection that you had the first time. And so it makes it, you still have to stay in your narrative storytelling style, but you replaced everything with Goldie, the goldfish, and how the goldfish raised you and how much they mean, and you're crying about it. And I thought that was the first introduction. And then lastly, I teach a class called Improv for Actors. And in that, we take scripted work, dramatic scripted work, divorce, suicide, being fired, not being good enough, as well as some positive things. And we take those pieces, and then as a class, we go back and we wrap a whole bunch of improv around the backstory, those characters, maybe people that are not in the script, but that are related, secondary or tertiary. And you know, like I was a loser in sports, and then you might have a scene with the coach, you know, and that would inform the script. And when the actor came back to their script, they had so much more that they needed to bring. And again, there weren't a lot of laughs. Not that dramatic or narrative improv shouldn't have laughs. Of course it should. But that was an introduction how to make that audition better. It was such a great class. It was so much fun. And everyone got to do a monologue at the end, and we would work it, go back, do some more improv, work it, stay in that moment, and then deliver it. And the final auditions are amazing.
I
Amazing.
bet they are. And I think this sounds like an amazing class. And I think, taking scripted work and actually, I know Synergy does that as well. They really practice that. They're famous for that, right? Synergy Theatre, taking scripted work, knowing the genre, but not taking the classical script. So they're going to do their own version of Romeo and Juliet, or whatever it is they want to do.
Sure.
And that plot might be a complete different one. They're sort of understanding the structure of the storytelling more, and they teach that brilliantly. But it's what it sounds like with that course you're doing is really taking one as an example. This is the core. We've now read this act. There's different characters, and now we're going to go and look at the viewpoints of the different characters in different scenarios. So you get the opportunity to go deeper and more emotional, tune into that one character, which will give you so much more than just the written lines.
Yeah. So you can get emotional story arcs within those short scenes. You can really, and again, there's some tactical skills of getting in, establishing, listening, heightening, concluding, so that you can use that, and then cut to something you hear and feel you want to go back and see that. Cut forward to the results of that. And then paying attention to the story. Where are you within the story? You have to remember, the names that were established. You have to do that. And I think, narrative improv or dramatic improv, it's really about being authentic to your partner, supporting your partner, all the things that come with improv, saying yes and being collaborative, but listening and how would your character truly react in that situation? It depends on their background. If they're one who, if mom dies and they're close to mom, of course they're going to be distraught. If mom dies and they felt like mom has always left them out and as a black sheep, or sort of an exiled child, they might be relieved. They could be even happy.
And there's so many choices to make depending on what character you want to display and what you want to, but it sort of has to be it will develop as to be justified somehow. You'll find a way by explaining that, and that's the beautiful part. As an improviser, you get to be your own playwright for your own piece, and people get to endow you, and you take that on. And so it's not just you making decisions. You have to take them. You have to work with them. It becomes incredibly I love it. But we're coming off theme again. What I want to know is with dramatic improv or narrative improv, do you think that, having played in Europe, I mean, I see you in Europe a lot, you're bouncing around here a lot, especially digitally. Do you find it more common here? Because I've noticed that a lot of Americans that I'm working with, they're getting more comedic improv everywhere offered. And there is narrative out there, but it's not so talked about and not so well known than in Europe.
Yeah, there's, I think, well, I do think that dramatic improv is more prevalent in outside the U.S. and Europe and even in India with playback. And there are classes in the U.S. that are happening. There's quite a few classes now that really teach about the space and the choices and being, just sitting in those moments. But you still have to, if you get endowed as something, you still have to yes and it. You still have to justify. You still have to do those things. And I think your pace, depending on how long your show is or how long your scene is, your pace is important. You still want it to be believable, and you want it, when someone says something to you and you're like, Yes, that did happen. But if you remember, I just came out of a car accident, so I had PTSD. So sorry, I didn't react the way you wanted to. And then, you can get into whatever. And if you're listening and you are owning the moment and being collaborative, then I think these narrative dramatic scenes can go well. And I think that they are, yes, growing in the US. And I think that I just, well, I think it's popular. I think I was watching a whole bunch of, YouTube has a bunch of clips on um, blockbuster movies or movies that had improvised moments. Okay. And there's a collection of improvised moments in there. And a lot of them stay in because, you can't write that stuff. It has to happen in the moment. And even the idea of sketch, or the idea of Saturday Night Live, or any of these big houses that do sketch, it comes from improv, right? The situations, the scenarios. You can take those scenarios and plop them into a rom-com or into a dramatic movie, but you really have to figure out what the interaction of these characters would be, and I think dramatic improv will help do that.
Yeah, explore it more. And I think it also develops, you just give it more time. I think it's not only the format, it's not about the storytelling and saying, oh, it has to be a herald, it has to be long form. It's not about that. You can even do it dramatic, you can even practice in short scenes, really short scenes, mid form. You can even say, hey, this is going to be a 5-minute scene just between two people, but we want to know, why are we watching the scene? What's the connection between these two humans? Why is somebody loving the other one and the other one's not responding? Well, what is the story behind that? But it's about vulnerability, I think, authenticity, and allowing yourself, with consent with your partner, to say, let's explore that. Let's explore and go deep, and not always just stay on the surface. Don't move on, but stay here, and taking that time. Yeah.
Relationship over plot, relationship over plot, relationship over plot. Like, that is, the plot's there, your path is there, but what is your relationship? Any scene, if I'm teaching a class, in any scene, if all of a sudden it's a transactional scene, somebody walks into a fast food restaurant and then the cashier says, can I help you? I want to stop and say, okay, that relationship there's no relationship. Like, so how do we establish a relationship? Maybe you walk in, you're saying, sister, what are you doing? I didn't know you worked at a fast food restaurant. Get out of here. I'm trying to, what are you following me? And now the transaction is not the important
thing.
Enticing,
interesting. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. 20-year customer, there's a relationship there versus just, I'll take a burger or I'll take a salad. There's nothing to that. People aren't interested in that.
It's a waste of a sentence. It's a waste of a few seconds. Why do it? Why waste time?
Right.
Keith, do you have before I ask you that, do you have no, I do want to ask you that. Do you have a favorite dramatic improviser that you're like, wow, I've watched them, they are amazing, they inspire me?
Yeah, I think, first of all, Jay Suko does both. He right now is my favorite improviser, and he's with Today Improv. If you don't know Jay Suko, he is the most giving improviser that I know right now. He's doing a lot of
supportive, yeah.
Yeah, and but I've seen him do some stuff that's pretty slick. I mean, because it's all about relationship and collaboration, and you get deep and emotional and stuff. So I love him. Barry Wright does some stuff, and and there's some people that in my local areas that have done some amazing stuff. I think PJ Barnes and Natasha Adams, who are in my group, we just did a movie called All We Got. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Tubi. It's 5-star. It's about a family. And the whole movie is a dramatic movie. And I play Mr. Luther. I'm an attorney, and the kids are fighting over their late mother's estate.
But I haven't watched it. When is it already out?
It's out. It's out. It's been out about a month now. All We Got is the name of the movie on Amazon Prime. Um, I'm not sure if it's playing on Amazon Prime outside the US, but we can try. And then it's on another streaming service called Tubi, and it's going to move on to Google and hopefully to Netflix. Yeah. So
And it's a full on, what is it, 40, like an hour and 10? Long,
it's 97 minutes. It's
wow.
100. Yeah, it's almost 2 hours. Yeah, it's a movie. It's a
Yeah,
feature
it's a
film.
feature film.
Yeah, and it's about family.
It's always where the most drama is. It's in the family. You don't need to go
Right.
far.
That's right.
All right, wow, that's a good tip. I always find it interesting with improvisers. There's so many that inspire me, and it's always also depending on what phase I go through. I always find like that there's different phases, and depending on what I haven't seen for or maybe not practiced for a long time, and then I see it again, and I'm like, how could I have forgotten this? Or where did, or there's something new, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and so I'm so easy to inspire. I mean, humans inspire me generally. I love humans, but when they do great things, I get excited like a little child. I'm awful like that. I love it, actually. Have you ever found a comedic improviser that you're like, wow, I love them. They're inspiring me at the moment.
Yes. Michelle Gilliam from Improv MKE is one of my favorites. She's brilliant. There's a lot, Blue Cavallette, Tez Yancey. There's a lot of players out there. I'm a big Keegan, Key and Peele, Keegan Key. I like him, and there's a lot of comedic improvisers that I love. But the celebrities, but there are a lot of good improvisers that I'm playing with. Ty Coleman, again, Jay Suko. I love playing with him. And there's some people that are impressive. I just played with the Sudden Knot. Those guys are amazing. And there's some new up and comers, right? We just had the World Series of Improv, and this team called Cakewalk. They did a whole thing. They did their so it was a March Madness, or a sort of a basketball tournament or soccer tournament style. You have 64 teams. They work there. They play each other until you get down to two,
Right.
and they won this thing. And their whole theme was on a boat, a cruise ship. So I had a captain and an activities director. And so whatever the word or the situation was, and whatever the challenges were from the judges, they adopted it, and it was amazing. So Tashika
It's
Campbell.
funny asking you that question. And when I asked you about any inspirations from the comedy improv, you just went. And when it was a dramatic, you really had to think, and you were like, well, at the moment, and this is exactly what it mirrors, right? Exactly that in the US, I mean, you're basically there is you have to think about it, and you're not alone, right? There's a lot of people because it hasn't been displayed as much. People
Correct.
aren't talking about it as much, and they can't type in. I'm having people tell me all the time, they type in, oh, where's a course on dramatic or on narrative, and it's just not so much of it in comparison to perhaps abroad.
Yeah.
And here there's overflow. I mean, you've got comedy as well, but there's just overflow in both. You can. It's very accessible, I find. In London, they love comedy. Go to Hoopla, go to Maydays, go to all of it. They love it, but they also do dramatic, which is beautiful. And they do both. Definitely. Okay, one last question I have concerning DULUTH. Have you ever personally played yourself a character over 24 episodes in any scenario?
No. Have I played myself? Have I myself as an improviser played a single character over 24 episodes? No, I haven't.
What's the most episodes you played the same character and been able to develop the same character? 3?
Oh, no. I have a reoccurring character that comes up in different shows, because I have a 2-man show that I do. We're on episode 18. And the season finale is May 4th. The Better with Improv presents the two-person improv show. And so I have a character that'll show up quite a few times. But I'm trying to think a single. I try to switch it up, but I mean, I have characters. I have characters and impressions and things that are done. I have a character, the bartender. He shows up a lot, and I was doing some short form, and we played bartender. And the bartender sort of had to. He was the healer of problems. So there were three improvisers that would come in. They would get their problem or issue from the audience. It might be hair loss. It might be divorce. It could be they were losing, they were dying slowly. It could be anything. And they would have to sing their problem to the bartender in the genre received from the audience, suggested by the audience, opera, jazz, country music, or
this is great. It's like a musical improv. This is great.
Right. And then I had to, as the bartender, reply, solve their problem in the genre that they sang it to. And so that guy, he showed up a lot because that's a skill. Yeah.
Oh my God, I have to try that with my students. I don't know that, but I have to admit, I enjoy musical improv, but I don't do musical improv. I just very rarely do musical improv because I'm just not. I can't sing. I just can't. It just scares me. It's one of the parts of improv that it freezes me up. I hear it and I already go, woof, don't.
Yep.
When I watch it, it's okay. It's like, yeah, I'm liking it. And I can see the fun of it. And I love watching people having fun. So I love that. And I have so many students that love it.
See, but that right there, that's the fear.
Yes.
And I would push you on that. And you would sell it. The audience would support you. And that would make your dramatic, serious stuff even better because your fears,
yes,
your bar of embarrassment is lowered. Yeah.
I don't even sing in the shower, right? This is going public now. I don't even, it's one of those things. I used to sing a lot, and for some reason at some point I didn't. And I had with this amazing beatboxer, improviser, Toby. He's out in North Germany. He actually gave a beatboxing rap course, and I pushed myself. It was at IFO. I see you there all the time, you know, IFO. So I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna do that. Face my fear. This is great. I'm just gonna see what happens. The worst thing that can happen is I'm just gonna be like, guys, I'm just watching. That's the worst thing. and I went in there, and it was 2 hours. I came back out, and I was like, I'm the rapper, and I felt the best ever. I felt confident. I could rhyme. I could rap. And it's because it is technique, little things, right? And I was just 99% better than I was going in. It's still maybe crap shit compared to the ones that practice it all the time, but I felt so good. And he was an amazing teacher.
That is what beginners go through right there, is what you're experienced. It's like, I'm out of my comfort zone, you know, and, you know, rhyming, rapping, singing, taking quizzes, playing characters, doing impressions, or
that's fine, but singing, I think, scares people. Rapping is another level, singing is another level. I think there's something about that in our human brains that's even more out there. Then even like acting, you still have your personal point of view. You can act the way you want, right? But singing is like, it's so much more judgmental. So either you've got it or you don't.
Sure.
Well, that's what we think, or normal people think. Of course, it's all about your commitment and your passion. It doesn't. The rest doesn't matter. But you have to get over that hurdle. So I love it. I love it. But we're talking about musical improv because you inspired me so much. But this is gonna happen again and again. But that's great. So yeah, okay. Your bartender pops out, and so he reoccurs singing, but he still reoccurs. Then he develops because every time it's a new scenario.
Yes.
Problem, so he does develop. Mm-hmm.
He develops. He's wiser over time. He knows you, and even if you're the first time in the scene, he knows you because he's the buyer. He remembers you from. He knows all of his guests, right? He knows exactly what you need. You don't even need to tell me what you're drinking. I know what you're having. You having the same? Okay, great. Two olives. Here you are. You know, he's the guy. He's listening. He knows. He knows you start talking about your husband, he can immediately tell you what to do because he's the bartender. He knows. He's heard it before. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. So you have some experience, and I think it's beautiful. A lot of people have a little stash of characters that they reappear. I talk to a lot of people about it, and they say, yeah, they do. They bring them on again and then put them away and
Yeah.
go through different scenarios. Quick, quick help sometimes. Yeah. Oh, you say,
They do, you know. Go on, Kyra. I was listening.
good. Listen in that character for the rest, and I would like you to answer and give us for the next question that I have to you exactly in that character. Please, I'd like you to give us tips or any good luck wishes that you have for the Duluth endeavor of a 24 episode soap opera, all the cast and crew that's involved, all the technique that's behind it. Would you like to give us a beautiful message, a good luck message, or some tips for that?
Yeah, I would love to do that, Kyra. Thanks for asking. I appreciate it. You know, let me tell you something. As old as I am, there's not many things that I've done 24 times in a row. So this is going to be a daunting task, and I know you have the chops to do it. I know all of you do, right? So it's going to take some collaboration. I'm going to teach you a word I learned back in the Army. Okay, it's called tenacity. All right, tenacity, right? The ability to bounce back when things get tough. You're going to be in the middle of a scene. Okay, are you listening?
Oh, yes.
Are you listening? You're going to be in the middle of a scene. Your partner's going to say something. It's going to be like, it could mean one thing or it could mean the other. You're not really sure where to go with it. So you make a decision. You're going to go left with it. It's not what they really meant. And now your partner has to actually yes and your yes and. So you have to now adjust the whole thing. And you know what? It's going to be fine. And you guys are going to be, you're going to be focused. Just remember, pay attention, love each other, and give each other big virtual pounds or hugs or whatever is okay within you're within your circle. I think you're going to be fine. Duluth is going to be great. You know what? People are going to see it. They're going to love it. They're going to follow it. I'm going to tell everybody about it. Hey, Bernie, Duluth, we're going to watch that. Okay?
Sunday nights, prime time. Sunday nights, mid-May. It's going to be amazing. It's going to
There
be.
it is. Sunday, mid-May. We love it. Duluth. You know, Duluth sounds like vermouth. Vermouth is the ingredient for martini, you know?
Oh, and I love martinis. I'll have two, please.
There
Don't
it
stop me
is.
one.
There it is. I'll make you a martini right now. Want that shaking, right?
Just keep 'em going. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
All right.
oh, 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 wonderful.
Beautiful. Hey, let's toast, huh? To Duluth and success, huh? Cheers.
And success.
Clink.
Cheers.
How is it?
Mm, mm. Oh, wow. The two olives just did it for me.
That's wonderful. Sometimes a little tart, but I'm glad you like it, you know?
Mm, mm,
There it is.
mm. Oh, I love it.
That's wonderful.
On Duluth. Duluth! Oh my God, Keith, thank you so much for telling us your beautiful insights on dramatic improv. We will be seeing each other a lot more. Hopefully make use of this time. You
Yes.
are one of the improvisers that I really see a lot around Europe and around America too. I mean, God, I'm everywhere as well. But the fact that I like that you're not just teaching, but I see you actually, like Jill Bernard, we were talking about this actually only yesterday, that there's so many teachers actually that are able to jump into other people's courses now because they don't have to fly over. They don't have to book a hotel. They have the time to be like, I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to be inspired. I'm going to do things I haven't done before. And that is amazing. I mean,
Yes, that is. It's a lot of fun. You know, I've met a lot of folk in the improv place, Katie Shute and Chris Mead's improv community in the
Right
UK.
too, yeah, I
There's
love
a
it.
lot of folks in there, yeah.
oh,
So
it's great.
I'm a moderator. That means I make you feel welcome. We watch the code of conduct. Everybody's great, so that's easy.
Well,
You
that's
know?
easy there. It is. It's a very respectful platform, actually. Very, very respectful. I've just had the most wonderful experiences. People helping each other. I mean, it's mainly for teachers and collaborators, but the amount of people that exchange there, beautiful. We all reach out. We all exchange. We all help each other, get each other
Yeah,
inspired, and push each other to do things. And that energy is very special. Yeah,
it is.
it
It's
is.
awesome. It's fantastic. I love it.
All
So I'm
right.
having a ball.
Better with improv. I think everybody should have a ball with that. You are easy to find because Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, your own
TikTok.
website. It's all better with improv.
Everything is better with improv. That's right.
That's what I love about it. So it's excellent. So if anybody can find you over that, you know, that's easy. Take courses with wonderful Keith Williams. Thank you so much for this interview and spending time with me.
Oh, Kyra, thank you. I had a ball. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was better than expected, and I expected a lot. So,
you gotta lower those expectations. It's gonna be fun. Everything's fun.
everything is fun.
Keith, wonderful. Thank you so much. And tune in, and who knows what the future will bring. Perhaps you'll be in our next television show.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, it's like me in musical. You've got to start trying the soap, right? See your stress levels with soap. See what happens.
I stress me. Well, we'll see. I think I've learned improv is one of those things that it helps me reduce stress, and because I embrace it. What could go wrong?
Yep. To be honest, that's absolutely true. I can agree with that. It does. It helps you in most situations. Again, associate, dissociate. I always say it's the root for me. All right, I'm gonna cut this.